Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kemi and I'm here to help you express yourself to get the best result possible. It is very likely that you will be in settings where you're having to deal with people across different age groups. It will be an error for you to assume that the same way you deal with people that are in their 20s, for instance, is the same way you will address someone that is in their 60s and their 70s. Particularly depending on the cultural context in which you find yourself. For instance, my cultural context is in Nigeria, and I know for a fact that you cannot speak with people in different age groups the exact same way. So, how can you address people in a way that will get you maximum results, no matter what their age group is? And I'll give you a classic example. If you are in Nigeria and you have cause to deal with the civil service, you will probably know that you're dealing with people that are older from a more traditional background. So if you go there and you are saying, hello, what's up, how are you doing? I'm here to make an inquiry, it's extremely likely that you will not get a favorable outcome. They'll probably just ask you to go and come back, and you will spend a lot of time there with no results. Now you could say, oh, that is symptomatic of problem with the system, or you could say, oh, that is a symptom of a deeper structural issue, and that's another conversation for another day. But if your goal is to communicate, to pass a message that will get you your desired results, then you need to understand the various nuances of communication across different age groups. The core of what I'm telling you today is how you address people matters. It will impact on your ability to get your results from your interactions with them. And so today I'm going to share 3 tips with you on addressing people to get the best results possible. Number 1, be clear on the cultural preferences. Do not assume a one-size-fits-all approach to deal with everybody and anybody. That's a rather lazy way to do things, and it will waste your time. So if, for instance, you are working in an organization that has predominantly older people, you want to be clear. What is the preference in this place? It could be a place, for instance, that has a leader that is young and vibrant, and the leader is fine with everyone going on a first name basis. That could work, but it's also important for you to be clear on what actually obtains. If there are much older people there, is it right for you as an 18 or 20-year-old to call them by their first name? It's not necessarily wrong, but it can be extremely limiting because it casts you in a bad light that will not allow you move forward when you need something from them. You are already pictured as someone who is disrespectful, someone who is not considerate of your elders, and those things are just such a waste of time. So first of all, you want to be clear on the cultural preferences of where you are. It's possible that there's another setting, maybe outside the country or in a multinational organization where these things don't really matter. And the older people in that organization are already fine with that sort of practice. But you need to be extremely mindful of what obtains in the place that you are. What is the culture that is prevalent? And how can I align in a way that I can get my outcomes? Remember again that sometimes there are some fights that are just not worth your time and your effort. So you can be trying to make a social point that it doesn't matter, respect is not about how you address people. That's all well and good. But where does that get you in terms of getting the desired results that you seek? So sometimes it's important to fight smart, not necessarily just do what seems logical at the time. So being clear on cultural and generational preferences is extremely crucial. How do these people like to be called? What are the things that are most important to people? There might be a class of people that their own concern is for you to just get them results. They don't care about nomenclature, they don't care about how you refer to each other, and that's fine. There might be another class that are big on respect, they are big on honor, and they consider these little things like how they are greeted, how they are referred to as marks of respect. You must be mindful of that, and you must be aware of what obtains in your setting. This would also apply if you go abroad to another country with a totally different culture than yours. Don't just assume that, oh, as long as I say good morning, good afternoon, or as long as I say hello, everybody should be fine. No, that's not extremely wise. There are certain things that may be offensive to certain people that may mean nothing where you are coming from. Ensure that you take the time to understand the cultural and generational preferences of the people that you're dealing with. Number 2 is for you to be cautious. It's possible that you may not be fully sure or fully aware of all the cultural preferences that apply. When in doubt, err on the side of caution and just be respectful. It doesn't hurt to call someone a Mr. This or a Miss This. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't take anything from you, right? If you are not sure, just apply an additional layer of respect to be safe. No one ever feels like they've ever been over-respected. Let the person come back to you and say, oh, you don't have to refer to me in this way. You can refer to me in that way. But be cautious, for goodness sake. Be cautious. It's extremely important. Guard your first impression. Guard your interaction with people by being cautious when you are not sure. And then my final point is for you to also be sensitive. Sometimes there might be some things that some people feel like, or in a setting, imagine in an organization, for instance, it's considered as fine. But there are some people that you notice that it's not fine with them. They have certain preferences. You want to be sensitive of those things and be mindful of how you navigate them. Don't just assume a blanket rule and end up stepping on people's toes without even knowing, making needless enemies, creating needless blocks for yourself. Be sensitive to people's reactions. If you greet someone in a certain way and they're not answering in a normal way, maybe you want to inquire, is there something that you would prefer? Is there something that I have done wrong? Be sensitive, right? Do not be so consumed in yourself that you miss the little cues that people drop about how they feel, about how you're interacting with them. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Remember that ultimately, your focus should be to maintain good relationships, treat everyone fairly, and get whatever results that you need to get out of a certain situation. Do not allow small, meaningless things get in the way of you achieving that. Thank you for spending time with me today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.